And you were just watching a CBS News special report here on CBS News 24/7 prime time. Explosions rang out across Iran's capital of Tehran as people awoke to the sound of that blast. State TV also reporting on the blast. Now, Israel's defense minister announced what he called a, quote, special situation in Israel over its attack on Iran. He said schools would be closed in that country tomorrow. So let's bring in CBS News Middle East reporter Courtney Kealy. Courtney, tell us again what we know at this point.
What we know is the Israelis have confirmed that they have launched airstrikes into Iran. We don't know where. We don't know if it's Tehran, and we don't know if it's at some of these nuclear power plants. Also, we don't know if it is against one of these nuclear sites, which Iran says it maintains for people's peaceful purposes, how deep that could go. And we are waiting to see if Iran will retaliate in any form. It's just after 4 a.m., just a few hours ahead of sunrise in Iran. I'm efforting to and trying to reach sources there to hear what they're hearing, and if the explosion did rock through and reverberate through Tehran itself. We know that today President Trump was wary of potential airstrikes launched by Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. He did caution that that could, he used the word blow up the U.S.-Iranian nuclear talks. It's not really quite the word to use now, but he did say that this morning. He was more interested in diplomacy. He's more interested in peace. But there was this red line of nuclear uranium enrichment. And the sixth round of talks so far are still on in Muscat, Oman, between the U.S. and Iran on Sunday. We're really going to have to hear from the president here and what his plan is and how he will have Steve Witkoff reach out to the Iranians, or the Iranians going to hunker down and prepare some kind of response. We have seen this twice since October 7th in those Hamas massacres. There have been airstrikes that have been launched from Iran into Israel. They were shot out of the sky by allies and forces, but there are some real soft points in the Middle East. And while we know that the U.S. Embassy drew down its non-essential personnel in Baghdad, that's a fortress, I've been told by top military former officials. While that was a head scratcher, what they say is more of a soft target, more of a worry, is a place like Bahrain, across the Arabian Gulf, across the Persian Gulf, that could hit not only U.S. Fifth Fleet, but it would also hit a Sunni-dominated, Saudi-aligned, if not complete proxy of Saudi Arabia that is really discriminating and demeaning towards its Shia minority. Baghdad and Iraq, this focus on that because there are troops stationed, because when President Trump was president in his first term, he hit and killed the head of the Iranian Al-Quds force. They did retaliate in Iraq against U.S. forces there. So everything is on the table. Everybody will be scrambling and watching. This is what everybody was afraid of that I spoke to earlier today. Will Israel do this? Could they? Will Prime Minister Netanyahu divert from domestic issues at home, divert from the catastrophes that are ongoing in Gaza and those hostages that still remain? Would he go unilateral and launch a strike? Now, the IAEA report that came out this week, this was an annual conference. It was much expected by nuclear experts. There wasn't really any there in the report. Netanyahu can say, look, they said they were non-compliant. Look, they weren't giving enough information about centrifuges. Look, looks like they have a new nuclear site. But that wasn't really breaking news for the community that are nuclear experts and have been in the room with the Iranians.